topics. Today we want to talk about, like, for example, the skins and everything. Me and Oki already have been talking about how
3, 2, 1, test. Hello.
3, 2, 1, hello.
Hello there.
Hello.
Yeah, hello there.
Alright. You guys continue. I have to finish this really fast. 1 sec, guys.
Right. Yeah, so me and Oki have been talking a little bit already about how we want to maybe change the way skins are, so that all the way to all prestiges you have skins, but so I think we all can agree that there's a bunch of skins already in the game, and the way it is kind of definitely works. Just to put us in numbers, I think up to prestige 3 there's like 130 skins in total. Could be 130 or 127 or something. So definitely want to do more. So like down through all prestiges and make more unique ones. But to be honest, I just don't know how yet. Well, I couldn't just continue with the old way of doing it, but it's a little bit fucked up with just like copying the mesh and just retexturing every single mesh. So we should find a more effective way to do this, because otherwise it's just slowly burning time. Like making a camo pattern is like takes a few minutes, and like new patterns will probably take you an hour or something if you want to go with like the good colors. But
Okay, there we go.
To apply a system that will make for armors. You just make one mesh, and that mesh will automatically assign camouflage pattern. And you can make like just two.
Actually, I can't share my screen while working on this thing. Hold on, actually, I can't share my screen while working on this thing.
Okay.
It also will very save memory a lot, because to be honest, when you will have thousands of things per gun, it will be loading to your game file. It might, not a bad way. We might stuck at some point.
Yeah, the only thing that would really require that on my end is that we'll make maybe 3 meshes. So the base, nothing. A solid. One mesh for solid, one mesh for textured. And then we'll just move the UVs around. But this will also require at least some rework on the texture side. So that we'll adjust where the colors are. Because right now they're fairly random. If we pick them from like lightest to darkest, that could work. But this would really just us doing an update, and like the week after I go in and adjust all the colors again.
Well, also if you would like to go that way, we can also apply that method to attachments. So any magazine and attachment will take colors of your camouflage, like in Call of Duty.
Yeah, that would be really cool too, if we could like have attachments colored.
Okay.
Okay, we'll find a new work for you.
We found more work for you and me actually this time.
Okay, let's discuss it later on. I was going to touch on the progression servers, community servers. Like there has been some confusion when we introduced first. I was planning on clarifying what the exactly community servers are and what the progression servers are and what the normal official servers are. There's a couple of them, and also we had the MR update buff in general. One thing. Again, another thing is server browser. Since server browser is going to be more widely used than before, I have been trying to make it more useful than what it is before. But also at the same time, I know that people right now one of the biggest problem is people do apply filters and they don't realize they apply some filters and then they cannot see the servers. It's also a bit really hard to navigate in general, so it has to be improved a lot. We had MP7 skin for the prestige. I will touch on that subject as well. That previously we had if you would prestige, your weapon kills, gadget kills, and vehicle kills will also reset to the 0. And then but the thing is, we decided that without anyone literally prestiging before, because no one prestige in the playtest, so we didn't really had no idea if it's going to be good idea or bad idea. And then after people started prestiging, and then that the feedback was clear, so we had to change it to do she doesn't reset the weapon kills and gadget kills and weapon vehicle kills. But the people who are the prestige, there's like around 4,000 people prestige. We want to give something like compensate some way. It's not, of course, equal to compensating exactly, but at least something in return without it's better than nothing, I would say. But yeah, in general, those are topics I will be getting into. You guys continue talking on this topic, or I'm trying to finish this. That's really fast. 1
No,
second.
well, if you want to, you can just give an update on what you're doing right now because it seems to be looking really interesting. What we're talking is like we could
So
definitely jump in with the skin topic again.
so
Yeah, just
yeah.
go ahead.
So as you know, all of you, first time this week we really started introducing community servers. We had community servers before, but it was more like testing. We had tldr, and then we had Brazil server. Like those were only community server that were running, and we were kind of testing backend and stuff. And then later on, we made community servers a bit more less private, I would say. It's still private-ish, but not private as before. Start testing stuff, and then this week, before yesterday, we actually bring what do you call the community servers to the server browser. Problem is, I mean, you're gonna be really familiar with this because so far the last 3 months you did not had any single reason to use server browser. Like you did not have any single reason. If you were looking for a specific map, you join a server, and then after 5 minutes, the map changes to something else. If you're looking for a specific game mode, you join the server, and then after 10 minutes, it changes to something else. So pretty much, what do you call the server browser was useless at all these 3 months. You would just go to the game, click on what do you call quick match, you in, you play, and then you leave. That's how it was. There was no consistency of maps, game modes, anything. So the problem we have is um, we want to now start encourage people to use server browser, but the first thing is current server browser is very clunky. It's not too useful. The filters are not clear. That's something I'm aware that people are what you call that. It's not 1% that easy to navigate. That's something that has to be fixed, I believe. And second thing is a bit mess. When I'm looking at the server browser, there's like so many stuff on the screen. I'm having hard time understanding what I'm reading as well. Maybe it could be my skill issue, but again, I think it should be improved. That's the first thing that is the focus at the moment, which actually I was working on this. Improve the server browser. What is changing right now? The thing you're gonna see is not final. I'm gonna be changing also the filters on the left side, bit more something better. Um, you had what do you call the party menu here on the right when you what do you call? Normally you have party menu. I'm no longer what do you call? 1 second. There we go.
Actually, now that we're talking about filters, I might want to show you something because I see.
Again, one thing is this is not final. I'm not just still working on this right now. This is definitely not final. I'm still working on this. At least try to give a bit more spacing in between, so it's a bit more easier to read. But still, this is definitely not 1% final. I'm still working on this. So currently, what's happening is people unintentionally, for example, choosing some maps here, now forgetting it, and then the game saves that. And then when they come back and they cannot see any single thing, it's like, oh, I can't see it. So this has to be improved. Other thing is also, what do you call the quick match? So because so far all this time you have been using what do you call what do you call quick match, and they were always on the left. Despite it is against your like muscle memory if you have played enough. We moved the server browser from all the way right to the left. I made it more bigger and like have community servers, etc. Again, it's up to you. Okay, and if it's still very complicated, I say yeah, don't use it at the moment. Improve it more user friendly. One problem we had, especially 2 days ago when we introduced community servers, we wanted to make quick matches into the what do you call community servers with the progression enabled. So we have 3 different servers. Official servers hosted by BattleBit, which is from us. We have community servers which that has progression enabled. So they have progression as same as what official progression you have. So if you go in and kill someone, that will be applied officially on your old soldier stats. And those servers do not have modability. They cannot mod the servers. They can only customize it. They can, for example, they can go and make it make it capture the flag, all entire 24/7 capture the flag, or only district, or only whatever, or only specific maps rotation. So, and then you have other servers, third server type, still community server, but no progression enabled. Those progressions are custom, and then they can mod the server as the way how much they want. For example, they can make, I don't know, they can spawn not 1,000, but I'm just telling example, they can spawn 100 tanks, and then I don't know, everyone playing with tank. I don't know. Just give me an example at the moment. So like modded servers, official community servers, and servers. So not right now in quick match, when you click it for the first time, you will see something like this. The default will be like this. You will see something like this. So you have three options: official servers, official progression, default rules, vote to choose, game mode map. So again, we cannot remove the voting from official servers because we cannot enforce people to play something. If they want to, if they're voting for something, that's what the server will be. But if you don't want this, now we have an option: official community servers. Again, official progression, so anything you do will be applied. Custom rules, not the default rules. In this part, the server could be, I don't know, more milsim, more casual, no bleeding or whatever, more faster reloading or something. And custom game mode map rotation. It could be still what to choose, or it could be, I don't know, what you call, a bit more specific game modes that you may enjoy or you may don't like actually. So I still encourage you to go and then use your browser when it's a bit more useful and user friendly. I'm not saying right now the current one is very hard to read, and I agree on that. And then next thing, mod community servers, which custom progression. Progression won't be saved officially. Custom rules, custom game mode map partition, modded server. By telling modded community server, they don't have to be modded, like they're not forced to be modded, but admin have permission to mod the server the way how they want, by respecting the TOS. And then again, if you don't want to be welcome with this message every single time, you have don't show again and join the queue. There you go. Now next time when you press on don't show, the next time you click, it will never show again unless you choose other options. And then each is a different don't show or whatever you want. And if you want to come back, it's literally settings right on the bottom, and then there you go. You have the settings. There you go. So I'm hoping this will be enough to remove the confusion, at least on quick matching. And I think this is easy to navigate. I'm also hoping as well. So if you want to play only official servers, just take official servers, no official commit servers, monomode servers, join queue. You will be queue up to the official servers. If you want to play, I want to actually mono servers as well. There we go. You choose 3 of them and join queue, and then there we go. So this is so far the quick match part. The next thing is again server browser. So I haven't actually looking at the if you're old school Battlefield for a player, Battlefield did not have server browser properly. I don't know if you were playing that time. We actually had a battle log at that time, and then you had to go through web browser and what do you call?
Yeah, the BattleNet that like half the time just crashed and you couldn't load anything. Yeah,
it
good
will
old
take.
times.
So I'm actually looking at this here. Like you have sort by name mode map friends, and then you have players ping. The one thing is actually I never like when I was playing Battlefield 4, I never understood what this icon mean. It means ranked, but I never understood at that point. And
Actually, regarding filters, I may want to show you something. Let me actually quickly bring up that thing.
Yeah,
oh,
about example
while
from
you're
other
bringing
person.
that, I want to mention about something pings. This is also what do you call Battlefield also does at the moment, at least the current one. There's one thing about pings that people realize that when they join the server and then when they when they are not playing on official servers or like any server they join, the server browser latency versus in game doesn't match up. The main reason why it doesn't match up is we don't technically actually ping the server. The reason is we had problems in playtest times. What would happen is we play open the playtest and everyone gets in, and then what happens is every single person is pinging the servers, like each server there. And then what would happen is the server would receive tons of packages from tons of people, and then depending on their ISP or server provider or whatever firewall they have, it will look like a DDoS attack, which is not a DDoS attack, but it looks like a DDoS attack because like people just pinging the server, like tons of people pinging it, and that caused a lot of problems. So what we did is, we have servers in what do you call, like in regions that they're not accurate as like the servers is themselves, but they're kind of like enough to tell which region you are from. We ping those servers once you get into the game, and then what do you call, shell that. So for example, in Europe we have a server in Europe, and my laptop pinged that server, and I got 46 milliseconds. So when I'm in the server browser, any Europe server will be shown as 48. That doesn't mean it's not 48 for me. When I join, probably it's like maybe 30 or 60, but like it's more an estimate. The reason why, I hope I was able to tell the reason behind why we had to go this route. It's not because we don't want to fake latency. It's because servers have some firewalls as well, and then literally pinging one by one is hurting the service. We're gonna enable this option for some community servers. So pretty much, if the server owner admin once says, "Hey, my server is all okay. I'm okay with 1,000 people, 2,000 people, 10,000 people pinging my server." And then if they're okay with that, then we're gonna enable for their server. It's up to them, however, at that point. However, for official servers, we won't, because we have a firewall that, what do you call? Yes, the tick race hertz are accurate. The worst case is like for example, when you say, again, this is not final server browser, just one more time reminding you at the moment. Like if you see 60 hertz, that is 60 hertz. The worst cases are normally like extreme cases. It happens on Conquest, and what do you call, like 254 player servers, and then there's like really, really, really clustered and dense areas. It can go down to 56, 55, but we don't go much less than that. We had performance issues on some machines before, like during the first 2 months. On some machines, I would like regularly go to those machines and then like fix them, but they were requiring what do you call, like daily, or not daily, sometimes even hardly, joining in the server and like fixing the performance. But right now we don't have any problems with those. So what do you call, these hertz are accurate, and then also we made it ensure that in TOS, for example, in server TOS, you cannot host any server below 30 hertz. Like you cannot host that, and be telling, hey, if you have a server that is less than 30 hertz, and if you have performance issue, you have to take it out, and what do you call, like maintenance, fix your issue, and come back later on. You cannot server to less than 30 hertz to players, etc. And then yeah, this kind of stuff. Anyway,
I wanted to show you
but
something.
yeah,
So,
yeah. What
stop
was
streaming
it?
for a second.
Sure. Stop streaming. There we go.
There we go. I might share my screen. Yoink, yoink. Man, this goes like really slow. Holy shit. We'll share this. So you see this?
What is this?
IKEA.
Why are we looking at IKEA?
No, okay, so my mom went to IKEA today, and she asked me for like things, whatever. I found, if we go, I don't know, rooms,
What?
No, I want to show you something, because filters. When you search something for IKEA, okay, they have like all this, cool. See how they did the filters? So we could technically use the, yeah, so they have like this.
Oh my god.
So you can like choose.
I'm like trying to figure out what.
No, I kind of wanted to show you the filters, how IKEA does like their filters and everything, because I think that is actually really well made. That you go like, hey, okay, I just need something in this size, and I need this color, and
Okay.
that's what I wanted to show you.
Larry, okay.
Maybe we
okay.
could use this in the server
Imagine this
browser.
perspective. One thing is, imagine this perspective. Anyone who joins the stream right at the moment, they
Yeah,
expect
okay.
BattleBit and they look at the IKEA website.
Whatever IKEA website. So no, but
Okay,
that
I
we
get it.
use the servers. Like the server is like throughout the entire length, and at the top we have like categories where you can like then filter through everything.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm just gonna be using other games. I'm gonna look at other games how they did the server browser. I mean, I'm sure there's like a lot of games that have good server browsers, and then like try to understand how they did it and try to apply it.
Yeah.
But I'm sure everyone gonna agree. The current server browser we have is really hard to navigate.
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone will agree on that.
I don't
yeah.
think the Battlefield one is actually a good example we should go after, because I remember that the Battlefield one was not really good anyway. And I found this randomly today because I was just looking at the site to find like the lamp she brought me. So I think this is actually a nice way, and if you have like the filters on, or like the things on top anyway, and we can somewhat display it in the server that like, hey, okay, these are the sizes available. And you can like click the size. And then, okay, I want to have, I don't know, I want to have a modded server. And then you click modded and whatever. And same as here, it will then like put right under the filters, it will put just like some bars where you see, okay, these are like all the filters, and you just can click one away because, okay, I don't want to do
problem there
this.
is like you can stop sharing screen, by the way. Like every single time, it's worrying me that anyone who joins the stream is just gonna see. Like yeah, the what do you call? My problem there is also we normally save the what do you call? Save the filters. The problem is when we save the filters, the player forgets they save the filters, and it becomes confusing. So it's like when they choose the filters, we also have to indicate what filters they have chosen to remind them, hey, this is the settings you are choosing. Because what also I have seen is some people choose the filters like, I don't know, on the aisle, for example. I'm giving an example, and they are specifically searching for a server, but that server is not on the aisle. And what do you call? You get that it doesn't
Yeah.
show up, and then it looks like broken. The problem is like how I'm gonna communicate with that.
No,
Anyway,
like,
this
the
is a UI
IKEA
issue.
layout would actually solve this problem, because at the very top where you have like your filters, then it would just put like one bar below it of like some space, and you see like everything that you have applied, and we make it like a different color that people see, okay, hey, I have this thing on right now, so we make it like orange, and you will see, okay, I have like aisle there, and then you just, with like an X next to it, okay, like this filter is like still on, and it's not like you go in the server browser, because it standard is like it collapses all the categories, so you don't even see if you have anything. But if you would just put it permanently there on your screen, that would solve the issue, and you have like all the options on top. So you give people an indication of what you can filter off, and right below it of what there is to filter, and then we do a line and put all the servers there. That is why I wanted to show you this, because I think IKEA did a really good job on solving that issue of filtering.
We will see how it will go. I don't know. I don't think I will be using IKEA as example.
Well,
Anyway,
you could just use it as a concept idea, but
DMRs. I want to get into DMRs.
DMRs, okay, go for it.
Yes, I think we spend enough time on IKEA at the moment. All right.
It's not an IKEA ad. We're not sponsored by IKEA. I just think they did some cool things.
Anyway, so what do you call? So I'm hoping you guys have seen the the DMR change. In general, that what do you call? There has been like I know that the DMRs has been sort of useless, and what do you call? So there has been some way of buffing them back again, but again, it was kind of what do you call? Hard to do, because before we had times where the DMR was just too powerful. We had that time as well. It's like trying to find that either useless or either powerful. I try to find a between. So currently, in the if you have read the update notes, generally you have less ammo, much less vertical recoil in general, and then what you call bit more onto the horizontal recall. That's more like it at the moment. And then also the reload times are increased. So they are a bit more, what do you call, easy to control, but less ammunition and then longer reload time. That's the general, what do you call, the change towards the DMRs. Again, this is not tested on like in a public like playtest or something, so we're gonna see it. But what do you call? In general, if it becomes extremely OP, which I don't think it will be, then we can adjust them even further a little bit more. But that should be generally all. So yeah, Larry will be working on the more different prestige skins. So right now, we don't have too many, what do you call, skins that doesn't have a different cosmetics. Like they are more like, what do you call, different camos and the stuff. But we are planning on, what do you call, adding actually at least one, what do you call, a skin that is worth of using as, what do you call, like one like the content creator skins that we have given to them. So at least trying to make the prestige more valuable, I would say. And actually, I want to touch on the player numbers. It's a bit sensitive and annoying topic to discuss,
Really
like, or
sensitive
talk
topic.
about. Yeah, but again, I know that our player numbers are dropped. BattleBit's player numbers drop extremely after the second month, which is, as a developer, someone who is working on this game, it's definitely, what do you call, deep and, what do you call, hard to say, hard to even mention, or someone mentions it is painful. But one thing I want to mention this, in general, before BattleBit released, I looked, especially like everyone looked. I also looked personally myself. Generally, games like you already know it as well. Generally, normally games doesn't go more than a month. Like there's like a hype comes in, and then, what do you call, like a hype goes up, and then like the player numbers go down, and then the player base plays the game. So the thing is, we never expected the game to go 80k. Like we were thinking we go maximum, like, I don't know, 30, 40k, maybe 50k was like bad. Like that I wasn't expecting 80k at all. The thing is, we didn't have really too much marketing resources. We didn't have money to pay anyone to really huge money to uh promote somewhere, really. The everything we collected went all the way to the servers, like literally everything, like every single penny of it. And then the media hyped the game, and which is not a bad thing, but the media hyped the game. Everyone started playing it, and then we needed actually need more servers. So what happened is we ordered servers for more like 50 to 60k maximum capacity, and then keep the servers at what do you call, like 60% CPU to 60% CPU usage. But when we reached 80k, actually we were ordering more servers because we didn't have enough servers. It was much more than what we expected. One thing about the high player numbers is it's very nice, but it's definitely temporary. And one thing is, when it goes down, when people compare the numbers, it definitely hurts more. It's like a death kiss. It's kind of like a curse a little bit, to be honest. That's the reason. I would prefer, if it's not on my hand, but I would prefer numbers to go much less at the start. Like instead of 80k, maybe go peak on 50k, 40k, and then when we go to those numbers, 10 to 15k, that doesn't look like a big difference. And then that hype wouldn't not hurt that much. So, but the thing is, we couldn't really control, what do you call, how much people can play the game. Like we just like we cannot put them into queue. We cannot say, hey, there's like 60,000 people playing. You cannot play the game. We can't do something like that. We cannot go and ask content creators, hey, stop making content about the game. It's like we cannot really do anything about that. Like it's like, and then once it's out of the control, it's just people do it, like promote it. So, and then people played it for 1 month. I seen people playing for 2 months straight, and everyone overwhelmed from the game. And then the thing is, other thing is, Yeah, when you start the game for the first time, the game impresses. The game has this feature, it has this feature, or it has this feature, and then the thing is, there's a couple issues there and here, but it doesn't it doesn't bother you too much because you're focused on one or other things. But that annoying things adds up. Like it happens one time, it adds up, it happens second time, it adds up, it happens third time, it happens fourth time, and it becomes actually annoying now at some point. So the entire game was polished majorly with the playtests. We did not have any player base that played the game like 24/7. And we did not really didn't know how to polish the game for long term because we did not have we didn't have any way to have a feedback. So after 2 months, the game's actual balance issues, actual game mode issues, actual playability, long-term issues, actual you call it other issues except than the first impressions came up to the surface. So this definitely I believe hurt the game, but I think it's normal. I think it's not that um like unnormal. I think this is normal. Normally you can polish the game to some level, and then later on, at some point, you still need some people play that and then tell you, hey, this is wrong, this is annoying, this is this, and then like fix it in time. So we're at that point. People played it for 2 months. Everyone overwhelmed from the game. The game's actual balance issues, other issues came up to the surface. We didn't know. We didn't never realize those issues. And now people are focusing on some other things, which is I think fine. About that, now there's summer. People are on holiday. There's other games came out to the surface, and people overwhelmed in general. First 2 months we release updates so fast. Like I don't know how much you followed our updates, but we try to really, really update the game as fast as possible without breaking the game in creating a new bug. Because at the same time, it really easy to create a bug in the game. Like if, for example, just give an example, a simple bug in server browser where you can't join servers or quick match is enough to kill the player, like everyone, unable to make it unplayable for that day. Like it's very easy to do that. So we try to draw updates, new content, new map, and like bug fixes as fast as possible without breaking the game. And then what we've seen is how much update content we add, it doesn't really change too much because people just overwhelmed in general. So the currently what we plan have is like I'm just gonna say public because I don't think there is nothing too private about this. Let the player numbers normally go down normally, and we focus on our things, make the game update the game, add new stuff to the game, and then like normally polish the tanks, polish the experience that you will get in more long term. Because right now in long term the game is not that playable in long term. And then when we have actually something to have more playable in long term, actually do a marketing plan and then like announce it more publicly, and then tell the game, hey guys, we have something now, you can come back and try again, instead of pinging everyone every week and try to get everyone's attention back. So it's like instead of pinging everyone asking content creators to make videos about the game, we wait and then we actually make updates. We accumulate updates, and then when there's a good enough updates accumulated, and then the game is changed into a point where it is okay to play in long term, then we actually call everyone back to the game and then, hey, we have a huge update. Talk with Steam, do marketing with them, talk with Twitch, etc. Do the updates all together and then marketing as well. So this is the current plan, which is the community server is one part of it again, because I know that a lot of people also got bored from the game because they couldn't really enforce some game modes or the maps they wanted to play. And yeah, this is the general the current the idea and plan. Again, I wish personally, the game did never reach the 80k. Personally, I will say it didn't never reach the 80k. We reached the 50k's maximum, and then um, that will look more natural. But that 80k kind of looked bit like it was not something we really expected to have. But anyway, that's something. This is a game, and also one more thing is I have seen same thing. The team also seen the same thing. The games always have ups and downs. So like it goes up, and then something happens. We kind of go off from the media. The game goes down, like because in 2021, in 2022, when the playtest, when we introduced the playtest first time, BattleBit blow up in the entire market, some level. Like it's not that extremely huge, but BattleBit blow up. We had like 27k peak for the first time, which was actually a disaster because we didn't have enough server backend for that. That time, everything was going great, and then the player numbers like raising, and then everything was great. People loving the game. The first impressions are perfect. Of course, you cannot say perfect, but like I'm just saying it was really good. And then people loving the game, everything, and then after a month, everyone like stop talking about it because there was other things, and then people said the game is dead, and then people said the hype is dead. You didn't release the game. You didn't release the game while hype was up, and your game is dead now. You cannot release it. It's like this kind of criticism, etc. And that time was very hurtful as well. Like I was like, okay, did we actually should we actually rushed should we actually rush to the early access and release it that time while we had the hype? Like, but again, we did not. We took our time, tried to prepare it, and then release it more controlled way, as much as possible. And that went actually well. I mean, to be honest, it went actually well. So again, this is something I experience. People also experience it too as well. You will see it. Things go up, things go down. We we work on things. We keep working on things. Things come back again. Of course, I'm not gonna say we're gonna have never 80k. I don't think we'll never have 80k again, which is fine. I'm fine with a healthy player base. So um if you have any doubts about the player numbers, this is what plan we have. Keep doing what we are doing. Focus on our tank. Keep working on polishing it, and then we're gonna ping people. We're gonna do marketing stuff. We're gonna do we're gonna poke people. Hey, we have a good update. We have a huge update. Try the game again when it's the time. But we don't want to poke people without enough updates. That's the main reason. The BattleBit is not in media at the moment. At the moment, in the media too much. So yeah, this is pretty much all I can say about the the player numbers. Again, it's a lot of drop. Yeah, I know it is like we were peaking at that time 6 to 17. Now we are peaking at 10 to 12. Like that's like 80%. Like like a lot of drop. Yeah, 12% drop. Sorry, 80% drop. Sorry, my bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
What I on my end also want to synthesize here is that from this point on, we have been really crunching like throughout the last
a lot.
2 months. We'll probably, for our own health, slow down our development right now a little bit. It will still get like weekly updates probably, but not to the extent we have gotten them. So that so we don't do it as crazy as we used to do like these 2 months, because it's not healthy at all. We all have been at our same limits. Me and Oki me more or less because of Gamescom now, but Oki has been sick for like the last few. How long have you been vomiting? For the last 3 weeks now?
All good. Larry, one thing I want to mention about the slowdown development, we won't have updates like for example, when we released the game, we had updates 3 to 4 days. And then later on, this kind of spaced out, that's like we won't have that
Yeah, we won't have
We
like
won't have that much
crazy.
that crazy frequent updates. Instead, accumulate updates and then accumulate updates and then release them instead of try to release them in 3 to 4 days more like. So that's the point more like.
Yeah, we'll go back to take more time with our updates before we publish them, so we don't run into like some weird ass issues again.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
more what I want to talk about.
So yeah, that's one thing. In the first weeks, we had to release fast updates because we had there were some obvious issues we had to really fix, like bugs, like the connection issues, some security issues, etc. As well. We had a bug where the players couldn't connect to some cases. You didn't realize maybe some of them, but there were other people were experiencing them. So we had to address this really fast. So we had to do a lot of updates really fast to make it playable, the game. But now we don't have that much issues. Now we can focus more on actually trying to make more polished and correct, I would say, less rushed, and release more timely manner. For last month, we didn't have too much updates to the game. It was mostly the community API. The main reason is we want to make sure the community API we are releasing is actually proper something. It's not just rushed thing where they can just change the the damage multiplier and that's it. Call it community service. So I took my time, prepared it properly, and there you go. It's actually, if you have played on community servers, you can definitely see they have a lot of tools to customize in a way. I don't know if you have played, but for example, you have servers where they have custom gun game, for example. I don't know if you have played it ever yet. There are servers which has custom map rotations, the rules to some extent, and more is coming. So, but again, those things will take more time. Um, Currently, community servers have enough tools to make it very customized a lot, and then now the focus will shift back to the game because they have enough tools at the moment. The server browser and quick match is probably going to be one of the last updates for community servers for the moment, and we're just going back to the game normally. And then later on touch on community servers again, but while community servers will be running on the background, just themselves and customize themselves. But yeah, I would say that's most of the stuff. Again, and also there's one more thing actually I want to mention about why we don't get more developers to the team. I have been asked a lot. So the reality about why the reason why we don't get more developers to the main game, the main engine is the game code is is written in a very it's hard to explain how I will say to someone who doesn't I guess do this stuff, but it's not user friendly and it's not really someone who can. It's not safe. So, for example, I'm gonna give an example to you. Normally, when you're working on a team, when you write a piece of code, you make sure if your teammate or someone else uses that code, and if they use it in a way that unintended ways, it will create bugs. So you have to create specific codes that prevents them to write it that way. In BattleBit, you don't. The reason why BattleBit can run 254 player with 60 FPS on your laptop is it has a lot of multi-threading. It has a lot of things that are specific. For example, I'm just going to give an example from a programming perspective. It's going to be hard for non-programmers. In games, normally you can do physics any point in time. You can do that physics I don't know, check if object is somewhere there. In BattleBit code, you cannot do that. There's a specific frame that you can. If you don't, you should not do that because of performance reasons. That's the reason why game is very well optimized. Because it does stuff that is very unusual way. I would say somewhat usual, but not user friendly. And if I hire some new developer at the moment, is I will have to check their code. I will have to if they are creating new bugs, and this gonna take at least 6 months to just recruit someone and make sure they're not creating new bugs. And that is more time consuming on my side. It's much more easier just me writing something and adding to the game, and then like make it without bugs.
Okay.
It's hard to explain from for a non-programmer, I would say. But if you have worked in a team before, if you have worked in a team of programmers before, I hope you can kind of understand my perspective. So it's more efficient to write it alone than when you have a team of people. You have to check their code and make sure they're not actually creating new bugs, because like trust me, it's really easy to create bugs in the game. The BattleBit monster code is not that spaghetti. No, it's like, of course, there's like spaghetti codes. Some
There's
places
always spaghetti
there are
somewhere.
no, there's definitely some spaghetti codes, of course, in the code, but there's also proper codes as well. The thing is, it's not about spaghetti code. It's like the game, everything is heavily multi-threaded, like very multi-threaded, and multi-thread is not safe. It's not usual ways done, and it's really easy to create bugs. And then like I don't want to go and then check someone if they write a proper code for next 2 or 3 hours, while I can create the same thing myself in a 1 hour. It's a weird position, and but that's kind of the reality, I can say. So more developers doesn't make it faster. It's just you have more multitask. Team
Yeah.
can do more multitasking, but it's less efficient.
It's the
That's
same
it.
with cooking. Like if you want to do like meatballs or something, more ovens don't make the meatballs faster. You just can do kind of more on it at the same time, or you do the same amount at the same time.
But one thing, sorry,
Yeah.
I interrupted. I don't enjoy this position too much. Like I have to sit and then focus on, for one, new features. I have to focus on the bugs. I have to focus on technical issues. With them, I have to focus all of them and then try to solve them. Meanwhile, if there was other developers, they could focus on them as well. But again, that requires time to get to them to get used to the source code and write stuff without creating new bugs, which there's no time at the moment, and it's really gonna be taking a lot of time to get that people.
That is even the
Um,
same for Vil and me here. So everyone has its own style. That's more from our perspective. Like if we bring in another 3D artist who like helps making weapons or whatever, his style would probably be way different than my style. It's
we have also namings, like for example,
oh yeah, the
Lair.
namings.
Yeah.
Oh,
So for example, when Larry models something, the game source is made in a way that the game code can understand his namings and it like makes them import them easily. Uh, and then the sizes, the origins, everything. It's like we all have been doing this, three of us together, and then we all synced up very well. Um,
I just noticed that there's absolutely zero documentation about the way we run things.
But again, you need to worry, we still will get some outside help for sound design.
Oh, of course, yeah,
Yeah,
Also,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, I mentioned about that. Actually, forget to mention about that. We actually, what do you call, going with a studio for sound redesign. Like we almost started the what do you call the process with them. So for example, I'm not good at sound design. Larry is not good at. Velasquez is not good at. There's a third-party studio who is going to be reworking majority of the sounds, and then we will not do it slow by slow. They're just gonna redesign all the sounds, and we're just gonna sit 2 weeks or etc. and work on it, and then there you go. Hey, new sound update. There you go. We're just gonna publish it, and it's gonna sound crispy. Um, of course, it won't sound like a triple A. That will require what do you call reworking the entire thing from scratch, which we cannot because the game has been already made. But it will be much better than what we have at the moment. It will be more consistent. The sounds, the volumes will be more consistent. They will provide ways to get the sounds more 3D. They will redesign the shell sounds as well, the weapon sounds as well. For example, we are getting help as much as possible, like resources as much as possible if we are not doing so or we are not good at it. But again, anything other than that, if there's no question, I have to go soon myself in 4 minutes. If
Yeah.
there's any question, any new game mode, I was going to I was planning on King of the Hill, but right now I say just let's get to the the server browser and a bit more maybe balancing stuff. Focus on that. Now later on, we can get to the new game mode and stuff.
There's one
When
thing
you,
from my end. The skin thing. Me and Vil talked about it at the very beginning.
ah,
That I don't know if you're around tomorrow or later today. Maybe if whatever the thing you got now, if it doesn't take too long, which I don't know. Then we maybe could talk about that we also automate the weapon skins the way we do the character skins, if that would be possible. Because then making new skins for up to Prestige 10 would be easy. And it would
oh,
like maybe
you mean the
take
camos? You mean the
yeah,
camos,
the
not the
camos.
exact?
Yeah, you
No, no.
Yeah,
shift
the
TV.
camos.
That we automate
Oh.
it the same way. That so I could just like because then I could just like make a shit ton of patterns and recolor them in every different color, and I don't have to go into every single weapon and recreate them like throughout several weeks. That it would only take me maybe 1 or 2 weeks to design all the new patterns, and that's like all it takes to make like
It's going to
another
that's going to be
300.
hard, Larry. Before early access, I would say maybe, but right now that's going to take a lot of.
You say that, and you finish that in 2 or 3 days. Then, as soon as you start with it.
No,
I
our armors was a different idea case. Anyway, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know. We have to talk and then
Yeah.
see. It is possible. It's just you're gonna have to rewrite some parts again, and then yeah.
It
I
also
get the
will,
idea.
besides optimization of workflow, it will also optimize the game because instead of load thousands of guns models, it will only generate models that you will need.
Yeah.
And besides that, we can apply that system to attachments as well. So grips, scopes will take colors of camouflage and fit perfectly.
The question here is high priority. Which one is more high priority right now? Getting to community servers and but more balancing or this? I will say this. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I get your
you also
point.
can finish community servers. We can do it sometime later. But another thing is how to make it without resetting current team, because if we will do that, it will reset team ID, right? Or team
Yeah.
ID that people already have requirement. We need to think about backup.
Again, priorities. I don't know
Yeah.
which one is bigger priority at the moment.
Well,
I would say let's go what we have at the moment, and then one time we can all sit together and then like while there's nothing as major we have to work on, sit together, make a plan, and then come with new solution for this style.
yeah, that would be really great because because we've been talking about making more skins. If I continue with this current workflow, I don't think it is like too good, and I would rather check our options for a new workflow, a new way to do the skins before I continue with the way we do it right now. I can already like prepare some patterns. I started yesterday, or at least I looked a little bit into it yesterday already. So, but before we go like anything crazy into production, that we'll check if we can improve everything on that end. So we'll make it way easier. Because in that case, we could even like we said before, we wanted to have a system before. If you remember it, with the gadgets, you can have like skins for the gadgets now, right? And we were thinking about like, hey, if the weapon and we make a different version of that weapon, that hey, like you have that base weapon and you have a modified version.
Applying to the gadget will be
then we could like
no,
do the
no,
gadget
no,
thing
no,
and like
no, no,
yeah,
no,
no,
no, no.
okay.
You have no. You're putting me so much in Larry.
Well, it was an idea. It was an idea. It doesn't have to be
Weapons
reality.
is a bit more maybe doable, but anyway. Okay.
No.
So
It
summarize.
yeah, okay.
Okay. Okay. I was going to say summarizing the entire thing that we have so far, this 1 hour. Generally, again, if you weren't here, 3 type of servers: community, official servers, official community servers with normal progression. Everything you do is saved, and modded servers with no progression, no official progression. In the server browser and in quick match, you will be clearly stated which ones is which. So I hope that's gonna clear up all the confusion. This will be up in a new update, not available at the moment. We are reworking on server browser to make it more useful and to more user friendly. Again, I mentioned the player numbers and what plan we have. And prestige, working on more custom style skins for each weapon to at least grind for a bit more valuable than only camos. MP7 skin for the players who prestige before the change. So it's like kind of compensating what we have. And this has been the most of the major the currently and DMRs as well. Sorry, my bad. We forget the DMRs. Yeah, and also DMR change. Um, if there's any Q&A, I'm gonna head out. But that was a majority summary. Next week. So this is what this week was. Next week, what we're gonna do is, since community servers are sort of almost finished. Like it's not 100% finished, but almost close to be enough to be playable. We're gonna back normal game. So currently, I'll be focused on normal game bug fixes, but additionally, I will start working on the King of the Hill game mode, but that's gonna take a bit while. And then I'm looking for a couple gadgets to be added. Um, we were thinking about Stinger.
Oh
About the
yeah.
adding this one problem with Stinger. So okay, there's one problem I did not realize. Someone mentioned. I can't remember who mentioned it, but he had a good point about it. Imagine you're a helicopter pilot and there's like 100 people with the engineer Stinger looking onto you. It's unplayable.
So we can make like Battlefield did. If
Yeah.
you flying on low altitude, it won't catch up your helicopter.
Oh, wait. Uh,
And flares.
you can
Flares,
use
and
flare.
you need to fly on low altitude to avoid being so it won't aim on your helicopter. It won't hack on you.
I don't. If you do low altitude force them, then they're just gonna people just gonna kill the pilot really easily.
I
Like,
mean,
v-
it will just rise skill curvature because there will be a difference between good pilot and experienced pilot who can fly on low altitude.
I don't know. We have because two problems. So right now, and the Black Hawk is very underpowered. Little Bird is overpowered if you know how to use it. That's the problem. Like one of them is underpowered, one of them is overpowered if the right pilot is using it. And we want to add a gadget that counters the helicopters, which gonna make the underpowered more underpowered already, and then gonna make the overpowered maybe somewhat more balanced. Like then maybe we introduce it, but yeah, it's gonna be a bit hard to figure out. I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be a bit hard. And also, Liberty is on bit hard place to nerf or balance, like because Lillibird, if you have played Battlefield 4, I'm saying from Battlefield 4, you have lobbies where little birds are dominating the servers, right? You had those cases. And then intentionally, because we knew that was the case, and people hated that, we intentionally made little birds hard to use. Like, it's very sensitive, etc. And people kind of figured it out, and they actually become good at it. And which I was not expecting people to actually dominate the lobbies with little birds. And it's kind of like, okay, how can we make them still useful, but what do you call not extremely nerfed at the same time? So there's like already like discussion happening, but I couldn't find anything that yes, that's it, like this is what we should do, or something that what do you call we could just apply at the moment. It's kind of bit has to be discovered and like bit more discussed. Maybe I don't know. Like if you guys have really idea on creative suggestions, and then what do you call? There's already some suggestions already, but there's like there's ways to what you call. You can make the bullet spread. You can make the what you call bullet damage. Those are very obvious ones, but then it becomes to a point where there is no reason to use it at that point. It's like you have to lock into someone for 6 seconds. Like you have to keep the helicopter still for 6 seconds to kill someone. That's crazy at that point.
That's crazy.
Then there's no point to use helicopter Wilbur at that point. Just don't use it at all. It's like just use it for transportation. It's like either overpowered or other overpowered. It's like trying to find a middle.
Yeah, but okay. You know what that sounds like to me? A great topic for our next Devcast.
Do what? Say again?
It sounds like a very great topic for our next development podcast. The next Devcast. Devcast 11. Yes?
Hello.
Because I
we
think
could
you
discuss
have to go,
more
right?
again. Yeah, I have to go. I had to go for
Okay.
7 minutes. But
Oh, 7 minutes
Okay,
already.
and
It's okay.
how are you seeing vehicle from Larry?
Yeah, I seen some vehicles added. You added without yet, but I did not check them yet.
Okay.
Okay. Then anyway, it was a pleasure to host you too. What up?
1 second before we go, one question. I haven't played on a lobby that was a helicopter was dominating. Is it hard to kill them? Like how is hard to kill them? Like just take just take your M4 and then shoot their window. Is it like too fast, or is it like the windows are too protective, or is it just not worth your time to try to kill the guy? They fly far away and not speed.
Well, I've seen a few people that don't take in account that bullets take some time to travel, and if a helicopter is far out or flying, that you need to pre-aim a little bit. Like that is what I at least noticed. But from my perspective, flying, it was never too hard. If he's like going straight at you, then you can definitely shoot back.
Also, one more thing. When you, for example, right now, BattleBit, if you do 180 degree, you can still actually use it. You can still use the helicopter. If you nerf that, right now, for example, people do 180 degree, they're upside down, and then what they call, they still can go around. Like, what if we just fix that? Will that be enough?
In real life, it's possible, but helicopter will lose altitude very fast.
Yeah, we can make it. We can make it that hey, if you're upside down, then you just like almost very fast go down, and then people won't be able to 360 at that point, which gonna be a bit. But I don't think that's. I'm not sure if that's gonna fix it, but it's like one thing I'm throwing. Again, that's something that I don't know how to fix personally. Like I don't know. It just I can nerf it easily. Like just lower the damage, and there you go. But that's gonna make it useless at that point.
Okay.
So
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, we could try out. I think we could just try out. There's still the testing branch. Just try it. Get in some helicopter pilots and just try it. I'd say. See how they like it. If they complain that like, hey, I can't do like the 360s anymore, then you know it's working.
Okay. Anyway, that's something that I'm still looking around what to do. It's just like I couldn't really decide something yet to do because anything that is suggested is like just gonna nerf it too much. I feel like and make it like just gonna kill helicopter gameplay, which I don't want to kill. The helicopter gameplay. I want to make it a bit more balanced. That's it.
Well, helicopter is not finished yet. There is still no flare, co-pilot can have thermal camera and other stuff.
Anyway, new update. I'm planning to release I'm gonna say planned because I'm still working on some bug fixes on Super Browser meanwhile. I'm planning to release the new update in not 12. In 12 hours. Yeah, not 12. Sorry. In 12 to 16 hours. Yeah. But I'm still working on new updates. Some bug fixes. I'm on bug reports generally, and I'm like just reading people's bugs, and I'm trying to see why this is happening, and figure out. And I'm also working on server browser to make it more useful. So new update in 12 to 18 hours in between. That's the scope I can give. And also we're gonna do a proper announcement this time on during the on the update, telling, hey, we have proper community service at the moment running after the update if everything goes well. But yeah, all right. Thank you, everyone.
Alright.
Thank you, Larry, for having us.
No problem, no problem.
you.
Very, very talkative today again. But yeah, no worries. Alright, everyone, it was a pleasure of having you. Thanks everyone for watching. I'll probably edit this right after the stream.
Hearing
so
as well.
Yeah, hearing,
Listening.
watching. For everyone that's here on YouTube, hello YouTube people. Yeah, thanks everyone for joining. And we will see
you guys
everyone
later on.
next week. Yeah. Oh, about next week. I might have to move the next week one a little bit earlier because I'm invited out. It's like really close for some
Ooh.
friends. Yeah.
Girlfriends. All right.
Not
All right.
girlfriends.
See you guys. All right. See you guys later.
Okay, wherever that came from. No, but I just might need to do it earlier because I might have been gone by the time we have. No, whatever. I'll do it.